Hey, hello everybody. My name is Chelnix and welcome to the second episode of our weekly talk show, powered by Double Bluff Esports. This week I am with Ahmed, Double Bluff's top laner and captain. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing great as well. What was your drink of choice for today?
I just have water with me because it's kind of early in the day and I don't like to drink anything sugary or stuff like that in the morning. So yeah.
Okay, I have myself black coffee. Nothing with it, no milk this time, because as you said, it's early in the morning and I barely woke up, so I need my coffee. So first of all, for everyone, may you introduce yourself quickly? What's your name? How old are you? Where do you live?
Sure. Yeah, I am Ahmed. My real name is Ahmed. I play top lane for Double of Esports. I live in Vienna. I'm 19 years old and I'm the team captain.
Good, good. When did you start playing League of Legends? Was it a long time ago?
Uh, I think at the end of season three,
Okay,
like
so that
I
was
think
quite long ago.
yeah, I think Velkos or Yasuo just got announced, and I started playing back then. Yeah.
What hooked you to the game? Like, what made
Mm,
you think this is a game that I will play for a good amount of time?
well, at the start, my brother used to play it, so I thought I'd just play it too because he could kind of like show me some stuff about it, and I like the complexity of it. Like, there's a lot of outplay potential in like everything in the game. So it's very different to anything else I've played before. So yeah, I tried to just play it for fun back then though.
Okay. And what would you say was would you say that you're still improving, or would you say that you've reached your peak before?
Uh, I think like at least I'm getting told that I'm still improving because I'm getting higher ranks and I'm playing in higher divisions gradually. But yeah, sometimes it can feel like I'm still kind of on a similar skill level as I was, let's say, like 6 months ago. Yeah, but others would disagree.
Yeah, some people would disagree and some would agree. It's always like that. After you started playing League of Legends, like, did you hook up with the esports scene instantly, or was it something that you discovered a while after?
Yeah, I started watching the pro play instantly. I just got like a very big liking to these like big esports events, and mm, because also esports was not really respected back then, I kind of liked it even more because it's a bit like outside of the box. Like, it's not something normal people would do, but I like really like it. So I got attached to it even more.
Okay, and what made you think maybe I could be a player?
Uh, at the start, I didn't think I was gonna be a player because at the start I just played it for fun with my friends. I taught them how to play, and I thought it was really fun playing like with friends, like 5 man stack. And with time, I played more ranked and got a bit higher in the ranking. And when I reached like diamond for the first time, I thought it was like pretty easy, so I could do better if I wanted to. And yeah, ever since then, I tried to become like a player.
Yeah, and so far you're doing pretty good. You are on a good path to promoting again. Like, it's only a week in, but we've seen some good. in the
Yeah.
in the last game day. Could you maybe tell us when was that first diamond hit?
Well, I think it was like season 8 or 7. I think it was around the time where Yasuo was like pretty strong in the meta, where you could build a frozen mallet on him, like
Oh,
second
I
item,
remember that.
or like Starks. And yeah, I really disliked that build. I didn't like build it at all, so I didn't abuse like OP strats to get high elo. I just one tricked Yasuo because I thought back then he was like the highest skill ceiling. So I thought if I become the best player at Yasuo, then I can be at a like really high rank. And yeah, I had like a 60% win rate going into diamond, and then I kind of stopped playing that much ranked because I've kind of reached my goal for now.
Okay. And could you tell us a bit more about your adventure with Double Bluff? Like, how and when did it start?
Yeah, sure. I think it started like a bit longer than 1 year ago, like 1 year and a couple of months. Um, I never played League of Legends like professionally or in a team ever, and last or like in the summer of 2022, I think I played in like oh no, in the summer of 2021. I mean,
Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
yeah, I played in a 1v1 tournament,
Okay.
and I I got like fourth or no, I got third place, and the winner of that 1v1 tournament was actually a player in the Prime League, and he told stories of like he's playing with a team like casually kind of, but still like competitively because it's not LEC or anything, but yeah, it's still at a like pretty high level.
Okay.
And he also said that he's getting paid and stuff, and he was really good at the game. So I had like a lot of respect for him. And after I couldn't win the tournament, I kind of like wanted revenge a little bit. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna start playing in the Prime League too, and maybe one day I'm gonna play against him and yeah, get my revenge. And
Is this player still playing?
yeah,
Like, is he still active?
he's playing in the third division right now, but it's looking very good for him though. I think he will reach the second division this split.
That's good. That's very good for him. And then starting there, how did you meet with Double Bluff? Because you were like, I want to join a team, but why did you join that team specifically? How did it go?
Yeah, well, I I only made a like profile recently back then. So um, because I was diamond, like I don't know, like diamond something. Actually, in 2021, I reached master, but I couldn't maintain the rank, so I've kind of dropped a little bit. Like at the time where I was looking for a team, and yeah, I made a profile on the Prime League, and I got messaged by a lot of teams. But actually, I was looking to become a mid laner because
Oh,
that was what I played uh, mainly back then. But I also played a lot of top lane back then. And yeah, I got messaged by Double Bluff Esports by Didi, the manager, and he like out of all the tryouts I had, even though it was on a like secondary role, I felt like it was the most professional, and it had like the most potential. So I thought it was the best decision back then, and I still think it was the best decision out of the teams that I could have joined.
yeah, because from there you stayed with us, so overall it was a pretty good shout. How do you feel so far with the team and the environment? Because you were the first, and you're the only one from the original roster that's still there.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How was it hard maybe to adapt to newcomers and departures?
Mm, well, I still have the coach Timo, which was also there from the start. So
Yeah, true.
it's not only me from the like original roster, but I guess he's not playing anymore. So it's yeah, I'm the only player left from back then. Um, I think I can handle like player swaps pretty well because also my role doesn't like require that much play together with the teammates, at least for a big chunk of the game. So and I'm like mostly pretty like mm, like self-reliant. I'd say like it's not a lot of attention that I need in the game to get going. And once like the team play part starts, I just like do my thing, call my shots. Doesn't really matter who I'm playing with. Um, but yeah, it's been nice at least getting to know that many different players like over the time, and also like seeing the differences in playstyle in some different players. It's very nice to like get a fresh wind kind of every time we get a new player because you kind of learn how to play the game again every time, especially when you're like not the main point of the team, at least not for now. So yeah, it's refreshing.
Yeah, I mean it must be, especially when you have like new junglers and stuff. Like you don't you don't really need much to get going from other players, but junglers can come to your lane some days, sometimes. It's not
Yeah,
often, but when it happens, it's usually good.
yeah.
What would you say is one of your key weaknesses, like on the Rift, and what do you do to improve it?
Mm, I think one of my weaknesses is um, I'm kind of in a very like strategic mindset, I'd say. So like going in the draft, if I have like a matchup that's let's say 60-40 for the enemy, then I'm playing it like very safe. So even if the enemy is making kind of like mistakes, I'd say like the risk of me messing up and the enemy getting a lead off of it is like bigger than the reward I could get out of it. So I'm not really like looking to punish these small mistakes that much if I'm in a not in a favored matchup. So yeah, I wish to overcome that mindset one day, because even if you like in a not favored matchup, you can still do a lot. But just because it's like the 1v1 and it's kind of like an island, the game can go really bad if you have like a bad matchup and you start making like big mistakes. So yeah, I need to learn how to deal with that, I think.
Okay, and in opposition to that question, what do you think is one of your major strengths?
Um, I think if I do get a matchup that's like fine for me, uh, then I very rarely do mistakes in it, especially if I play that matchup more than like once or twice. Uh, I think if I play the matchup like multiple times already, then it's very rare that I do mistakes, unless like the enemy skill level varies like a lot. Like for example, if I play against low master players like 4 times in, let's say Jax Fiora, and then I play against like a Grandmaster Challenger player in scrims or in a match in like the same matchup, it's gonna be completely different. But even then, yeah, I think if I've practiced a matchup and it's like favoring me, then I would have too much ego to lose lose the lane, I think. So even if it's like kind of looking really bad, I start getting very creative on how to like get leads. So yeah.
Okay, that's a very interesting point. Back to being a Double Bluff member, what was your best memory of being with the team?
Uh, best memory.
If you had to choose one.
Well, since we played the LG tournament like 1 or 2 months ago, and like got a very nice monitor of it, I'd say it's probably that. Even though the ending of it wasn't like that nice, I'd say like the whole journey of like winning a game almost every day against teams that are like giving their best, and yeah, just climbing the ladder of that tournament was a very nice experience, especially because we didn't really prepare that much for the tournament. It was just kind of like, oh guys, this is gonna happen in like 1 week. Like, do you want to play? And then yeah, we just all agreed and kind of popped off.
I mean, you say the ending wasn't that good, but I'd say that top two on the EUS bracket is not that bad, don't you think?
Yeah, well, if the games went a little bit more, let's say, competitive, then I wouldn't have that big of a problem with the ending. But because I think, like me personally, I was like very outclassed during that final. Um, I couldn't have like a positive mindset about it, and it kind of inspired me or like motivated me as well to keep improving and to like reach that level that I was playing against. So like so same thing with the Prime League why I started, so I can like one day maybe get my revenge on that player, uh, and yeah, become better than them.
Yeah, but maybe next LG tournament will smile to us, and maybe we will win this one. Who knows?
Yeah.
What are your ambitions for like this year and for further in the future?
Um, I think this year it's kind of like a must to get to Division 3. I think, um, because if we don't even reach Division 3 this year, I'd say it's kind of looking grim. So I think that's something that we should achieve, at least like with the players and the staff that we have right now. We for sure should be one of the best teams in Division 4. Um, and yeah, from Division 3 on. Also in Division 3, there's not that many good teams right now, I'd say. So once we reach that level, I think it wouldn't be that hard to reach Division 2. I think at least like maybe one split where we reach like middle of the ladder, but then next split like we know how to deal with it and everything. I think to the end of this year, it's very possible that we reach Division 2. And uh, yeah, in real life, I'd say probably get a new PC because mine is kind of bad. And yeah, keep going with my studies in my university, and like don't drop the ball on like either one of like league and university. So if I manage to juggle those two, then I'd be very happy with this year.
Yeah, that would be very nice. What do you do? What do you study at the uni?
Um, Computer sciences, but a little bit more focused on like business. So
Okay.
it's not like software engineering or something like that, but it's more like computer sciences for businesses. So uh, I'm not quite sure what's like the main focus of that study yet, but I'm sure I'll get to know it like in the next couple of semesters, because the first semester was kind of similar for all the computer science, uh, like for all the different branches. So I don't know yet that much how it differs from others.
Okay. Being at the uni while playing league like let's say semi-professionally, how hard is it to balance your life like between all the studies and all the time you have to put in league with scrims, with solo queue, with improving yourself? What would
Mm,
how hard is it for you?
I think having something to do, like having scheduled a scrim or like homework or something like that, helps me, I think, because
Okay.
I kind of have mm, like if I know on one day I have, let's say, scrims at 7, then I know whatever I need to do until tomorrow, I need to do before that. So I don't like stall it out until it's like very late in the evening, and then I start doing it, and then I get like a little uh, not enough sleep. So I think playing League kind of helping me in that point, like arranging my time. Because if I wouldn't be doing that, then I think I would just be like laying around doing nothing for like most of the day, because I procrastinate a lot. Uh, and I like to call it like challenging myself a little bit, because if I feel like if I study too long for something, then it's kind of like not an achievement to succeed. Because if I study for like a whole week, then of course I have to like get it really good. But if I study for like 2 days and I still get it good, and it's like, then I'm proud of myself. But if I study too much, then I don't really feel like I did something, because I think then anybody could do it.
Okay, so in hindsight, you'd say it helps you keep a good life hygiene,
Yeah, it
juggling
helps
between
me
those two.
balance. Yeah.
Okay, and would you say that having a good life hygiene contributes to good performances in sports? Because that's something that that is kind of a subject that starts emerging like a bit everywhere.
Mm.
What's your take on that?
Mm. I think if you have at least if you're not on like a very professional level yet, like not I'd say division 2 or higher, um, then doing stuff like on the side should be kind of like mandatory. You shouldn't like primarily focus on prime league or like whatever other league you play in, unless you're at a like very high level already. And if you can't like balance these two things at the same time, then I think it would be better to drop at least one of those, and most of the time it should be league at that point. But if you are a pro already, like playing in the higher divisions, LEC maybe, then I think it's very important to spend a lot of time practicing, because it can happen that some of the pros, which is this happens a lot in NA, they focus a lot on their health, which is like it shouldn't be a bad thing, but for playing the game, it's kind of like not ideal, because you're like working out every day. You, I don't know, like you do a lot of stuff that's not game related. But then if you look at the eastern regions, for example, they like have a big focus on the game,
Yeah.
and if they play the game for like 10 hours a day, which is like 5 hours scrim, maybe 3 hours talking about it, whatever, like 2 hours solo queue, you're never gonna reach that level if you don't put that much time into the game as like these Eastern region teams. So I think if you're not like a complete pro yet, it's very important for you to look at your health and everything, and like your social standings. I'd say like get a job, maybe study, do something. But if you are a pro, then you should for sure like mainly focus on league.
Okay. As a player, what are your thoughts on the start of the Champions Queue in Europe? Like I know sadly you're not invited in it. Unlucky.
Mm,
Maybe in a few months, who knows? But yeah,
maybe.
what are your thoughts on that?
Mm, I think the concept is like very nice for the pro players, because they can get like valuable experience, uh, and also like good practice in while not scrimming. So scrims can be like very stressful uh, area, I'd say. But the Champions queue is like an in between of scrimming and playing solo queue, where it's still like pretty competitive, but it's not as stressful as the scrims. So I think for them it's like very nice. But for like aspiring pro players, like us, I'd say, like Division 3, Division 4, some, um, also some minor region teams. It's kind of sad because you don't get to play against these like very good players on like that much anymore. So you won't see them that frequently in solo queue anymore, and I think that's not nice for the new talent in the region, because then you can't practice against the best if you're not already like very high up in the ladder. So yeah, it's very good for the pro players, but for everyone else, it's kind of, yeah, not the best.
Okay. On the current meta, what are your thoughts, especially on top lane, because that's the role you play. But if you want to talk about the meta in general, you're free to go. What do
Mm.
you think? What do you think of the current state of the game? Let's say it that way.
Mm. I think the game is probably okay balanced right now. Like especially now after the nerfs of like Catherine, Rise, Rod of Ages, whatever, um, looks better. But now that we've buffed the ADCs again, I'm not sure like how strong they are yet, because the patch is like not that old. And also next patch supports are gonna be buffed as well. So I don't know. I've had too many games where it's like top lane 1v1, and we're kind of like going pretty even. Maybe one player gets like 10, 20 CS lead, a little bit of XP. And meanwhile, like you look at the map, it's like 15 minutes, the other side of the map is burning, or you already won the game. It's it's almost every game where you don't really decide the outcome of it. It's just practice for you to play the 1v1, to like learn the matchup, and then like the outcome is not really that much dependent on you. So from a top lane perspective, I guess if you're looking to climb, it's not the nicest, because you also never know if you pick like a carry champion, like let's say Fiora, Jax, Irelia, you will never know if your jungler will ever come to your lane or not. And especially if it's like a carry versus carry matchup, if the enemy jungler decides to come to you at least once and set you like behind, even if you don't die, it can already make the matchup like very bad. And then that can like snowball into some kills. And yeah, the game can get out of hand like pretty fast. Um, so yeah, from a top lane perspective, it's kind of rare to carry games, at least like on your own. If you get like a lot of team help, then sure. But most of the time, the team that plays around top lane loses the game, because the enemy team just cross maps, and instead of one kill, you get two kills, and instead of one player put behind, you get two players put behind. So yeah, I mean, just mathematically it makes sense, but in practice, it's not the nicest for my role. But I think everything else is pretty balanced. I'd say mid lane is probably the weakest out of the other four roles, at least in impact.
Okay.
Um, but it's not that far behind the other roles. So if you're playing any of the other four roles, then you can probably do a lot in solo queue and in competitive.
Okay. What scenes are you watching? Like which regions are you watching maybe to improve, to see what's done in other countries maybe?
Mm. Um, Currently, I watch the LEC, the LPL, the LCK. I watch the Prime League, second and first division.
Okay.
Um, but some of those I more watch for entertainment than for improvement. Like for example, the LEC. I feel like there's not that many great top laners in the LEC, so there's not that much to learn. Also because the teams are not so willing to play these like very skill heavy matchups like the Jax Fiora, or let's say Camille Camille Jax, or like Gwen Jax. These are all matchups that are kind of non-existent in EU. But if you look at the Eastern regions, they, especially LPL, they love to play these like very high skill ceiling matchups like the Jax Fiora, the like every matchup I just mentioned. So for like the weak side, it's okay to watch the other regions for improvement, I guess. But if you're more looking for like the heavy skill matchups, the like high impact gaming, then looking at LPL games, I think is the best way to improve.
Okay. You mentioned watching Prime League Division 1 and 2. Who are your favorites to win this split?
Um, Division One, I'm not sure because Division One is kind of all over the place right now. They have like very good teams losing against like pretty bad teams, and also like bad teams winning against good teams. So I'm not really sure who's gonna come out on top like at the very end. I feel like uh, I feel like it's probably gonna be Eintracht Spandau or Unicorns of Love that end up like first in the regular split, but in the playoffs it's really unpredictable, especially because NNO is in the mix.
Okay.
But second division, it's for sure Austrian Force will haben. They are by far the best team.
Okay. Could you maybe go through your match day routine with us? Like, what are your habits before going into an official match?
Hmm. On match days, I'm like very focused on the game at hand. So most of the day I don't do like that much stuff. I could maybe do some uh do some fitness or maybe I don't know spend some time watching videos. But in the back of my head, it's always gonna be like the match. So I can't really do like very intensive stuff like where I need to learn new stuff that much. Like for example, watching some lectures or doing some homework. If it's not like very repetitive and I need to actually like study something, it's not the best. Um, I most of the time like wake up pretty early as well on a match day because
Okay.
getting like a lot of sleep is probably not the best on a match day. I think getting like the 8 hours should be enough, and then I look to get out of bed like very soon after. Um, yeah, and then I probably play like 1 or 2 games of League, maybe buy myself some food uh, from like McDonald's or Burger King or something, and yeah, then just prepare mentally and maybe prepare some spicy picks or some good input for the drafting phase. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. I have been in the voice chat quite a bit in the scrims, and you are very vocal on draft phases. Is it something that maybe you'd consider someday switching to maybe coaching or drafting for teams? Like
Mm.
in the far future maybe, but like after you've won LEC Worlds and stuff, like after that, would you consider switching to more of a
uh,
staff role?
I feel like drafting is probably not my strongest point. I just most of the time, if I help in the drafting, I just go off what the players tell me and like what they say, how matchup goes, or like what they're comfortable playing with. And at our level, it's most of the time enough. If you just play like a combo that you want to play, that you've practiced, and you're fine with the matchup that is given to you, then you're probably gonna win, at least with our players. Um, but like having a crazy strategy in mind is something I'm not that good at yet. Um, I think I could improve if I really wanted to, but I think if I ever like retire as a player, then the next thing would probably be like a coach for like the laning phase and like the laners more than
Yeah,
the draft and stuff.
yeah, some kind of positional coach maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Before we wrap it up, is there maybe one matchup that if I tell you you can play it in the Prime League, is there one matchup that you'd really like to play and to maybe a champion you'd like to unbench?
Mm, I think there's a lot of spicy matchups in the top lane right now, but one matchup I like to play because it's very it's not something that many people would say probably, but I like that matchup a lot, and I think it can go both ways. Is Aatrox versus Jace,
Okay.
and I play the Aatrox side probably because Jace is not one of my best champions, but yeah, I've played that matchup against very good players, and I've seen it go both sides. So yeah, that's like one of the more exciting matchups for me, I think.
Okay. Is there maybe a last word you'd like to say? Something you'd like, someone you'd like to shout out? Anything you'd like to tell before
Mm,
we end it?
mm, think I will say uh, I will say a shout out to McDonald's and Monster Energy because they they keep me alive for match days, and especially Monster Energy. It's if you drink only one in a day, then it's not unhealthy. Trust me. At least the sugar free. So yeah, big shout out to those two.
Okay. Maybe one day they'll sponsor us and they will send us some stuff for you. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. We are at the end of our time. Thanks a lot, Ahmed, for coming to this,
Thanks for having me.
and we will see you in the next match day.
All right.
See ya.
Goodbye.